about to get a rattle on. So what I'm doing right now, you guys probably don't get to see me do this a lot, is, and I'll show you, I'm actually pre-shaking my cans, spraying them off in the distance somewhere until I see the nice rich color. I usually do this on a trash can that I have right next to me, but I want you guys to see that I actually do this before every time I go spray painting. Hey guys, I see I already have a couple of viewers. How are you, Martin, Heather? I'm getting ready to do a spray painting. So I have some awesome little cool canvas here, and it comes in a package of, I think it's like 40 or 50 sheets. So we're just going to practice, see if they work. And if they do, great, man. We'll put it on the website. This is going to be a trial. Alright, so what I use here is I use my magazine sheets instead of a palette. You can definitely get a palette, but rather than to clean it up, I just grab the extra sheets and throw them away. Alright, let's get started. I'm going to do a black and white one. Like I mentioned earlier, this is just going to be practice. I'm going to be using... Oh, let me make sure that the camera is focusing. I'm going to be using the spraycasso tool. This is a tool that we got specially made for the art of spray paint. It's rubber tipped. We used to make them out of a CNC machine. And this is very solid. This is made out of metal. But we've realized that you can do a lot more details with the rubber tip. So let's get started here. I'm going to spray some white here on the distance, on the side. I'm just going to come in here. I'm just going to create some random little, you know what? I'm going to create a blue sky in the background. Just hints of it. Alright, now with the rubber tip spraycasso tool, we're going to come in here and we're just going to test out how this paper works. You know what? I don't like it. It's absorbing the paint. That's one of the main characteristics about spray painting, is that you really need to keep your paint on the board at all times if you're gonna create anything with it, rather than it absorbing it. But this is just practice, so I'm just gonna come over here. This is exactly what I do to create terrain. It's very easy to do, and I think you guys can see where I'm going with this. You can create some very rocky terrain. You can kind of blend it into the background. You can create very smooth looking terrain as well. Just depends how you smear the paint together. Oh, let me, how do you... Oh, there we go. Sorry, I couldn't see the screen because I saw everybody's comments there. Hi, everyone. Alright, so a little bit of paint on your spraycasso tool. Come over here and you can start creating your terrain in the background. You know what would be kind of cool? If we use a spraycasso funnel, and instead of black like we usually do to create our trees, we can create our trees using white, kind of like birch trees. This is the best thing I like about the spraycasso tool. Look, you can make branches. See that? You can use the flat tip of your spraycasso funnel here to make things a little bit thicker. Look at this branch right here. So this is one of the questions I'm asked a lot, you know, why do I use this method rather than the folded sheet of paper method? Guys, answer is very simple. You can carry a lot more paint this way. Look at that. And you can just keep going, making little branches, finer details. Best part about the spatula is you can actually manipulate the paint a little bit. And as you notice here, I just made this tree grow a little bit. I'm going to use some of this white paint to work on the terrain a little bit more. So as I was mentioning earlier, we're doing an experiment here. I was given some black posterboard, and it came on a kind of almost like a little booklet, like a little sketch booklet for us to test to see if this is something that we could use in the world of spray painting. And unfortunately, from what I'm seeing, it is too absorbent. It is absorbing the paint a little too much. So I don't think we'll be able to use this or put it up on our website. But I recommend that if you get anything to practice on, this might be a good little technique to practice how to create your terrain. Now, to create the tree leaves, I'd recommend you get a little bit of sea sponge, tear off a piece. You don't need the entire sponge. I see a lot of guys tear off a sponge this size, and they'll tear off a piece and then use this size on it. No. You just use the smaller part of it. You don't need to use the entire thing, guys. Trust me. Look, you can create some very realistic looking tree leaves with it. I almost like the way that this is absorbing the paint. It almost looks like watercolor. I mean, like you'll have to go back and add several different layers to keep some of the highlighted areas to show up. But maybe it's worth it. Maybe we're onto something new here. That's something I always tell everyone. You know what? Experiment. Practice. It might just work. Now for this painting, we're only using white. Look at that. I like that. Now notice the size of sponge I'm using. It's very tiny. You don't have to use a whole lot, guys. So I made a little video last night. We were blown away about how much snow it landed. We were out in a wedding. We were out with some friends, and then it just started coming down. So I thought, you know what? We should make a snowy painting. Look, you can also use your sponge for certain techniques here to create the effect of perhaps little dirt or little slide. That you can really blend the colors together. All right. A little more white right here. And smear that down. And look, if you want to add some white on your tree, you can always come over here and just start tapping. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Well, I think since this isn't working for me very well, I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't get me wrong, I kind of like where it's going, and I can see that we can create definitely some good paintings in this kind of material. However, I can already tell you that it's going to require a lot more paint than what I think would be worth it. That's why it is important, guys, that whenever you spray paint using Posterboard. This looks like posterboard, but it's actually very it's porous. You know, it'll absorb a lot of the paint. So hopefully this helps answer a couple of the questions. I get this question asked a lot, is why we use posterboard, and that is the reason. All right. Yeah, kind of like it, but I don't like the fact that it takes a lot of paint to create something like this. This should have been done a lot faster, in my opinion. Add a little more. And the reason I'm also practicing is because, as many of you guys have noticed, I've started experimenting with a technique where I use a lot of colors, a lot of bright colors, and I make the background and the plant life kind of blend together, and it almost looks like it has it's very glossy, very shine, very colorful. So I thought I'd practice a little bit before going into that. But if you guys want to see that, I don't mind making a video on that as well. Notice how to create grass. Very simple. A little bit of white using your sea sponge. Put your sponge down and smear upwards. Easiest way to create grass. Now if you want to create grass with some flowers on top, same thing. Tap. And then you just very gently tap on top of the little grass strands. Look at that. That's how you can create little plant life, little flowers. And it looks like you spent a lot of time on there. But you and I know the truth. It's very simple to do. Just go upwards. This is the same technique when creating fur. If you guys remember, I have a tutorial out there called, I think it's called Eye of the Tiger. Check it out. This is a technique we use to create the tiger. Okay, I'm going to add a few more tree leaves here. Tap, 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 tap. Very simple, very easy to do. Now, if you want to create a snowy scene, what I recommend you do, this is the very same technique that we use to create stars. What I like to do is I like to very gently just kind of tip the can 45-degree angle away from the paint and just let it sputter down. Oh. Now this is a lot harder when the can is new. Just giving you guys the heads up, because I know it's coming. Hey, spray, it doesn't want to work. You guys see all the little stars? You can make those into snowflakes. There's another technique which I'm not a big fan of, and that is one where you kind of spray your hand and you just kind of, you know, drop it down on your canvas. It's effective, but the problem is this: then you get all this paint on your hands. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little fast, fun practice tutorial. As you can tell, I've been experimenting a lot more with dark canvases. And I gotta tell you, I'm really digging it. The colors just seem to be a little more vibrant. So if you guys get the chance, go to Hobby Lobby or wherever you guys get your canvases and buy some black canvas. I think you guys will enjoy it. Alright. In fact, I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to head on down to the store and get me some black canvases. Unfortunately, I don't think this kind of poster board will work for our art style. So we'll put it up. And I'll come back again, probably in an hour or so, guys. And I'll show you what it should look like with an actual cured black canvas. Alright, crew, until next time, thank you guys for tuning in and watching this quick tutorial. Oh yeah, see, this would look really cool if it didn't absorb so much paint. Alright guys, until next time, keep those cans shaking.